Perfect. All right, well, welcome everybody. So I am Kelley, the plant-based kitchenista, if you haven't met me before. We do everything plant-based, of course. So we are, we definitely follow like Dr. McDougall and everybody else that is out there. We don't cook with oil. So if we do saute, I'm always going to use vegetable broth or stock, water, or I always, when I'm in class and stuff, white wine. So white wine we always talk about is always for like sauces, like Italian sauces and something like that. But don't use a lot of it. I would say that if you're getting ready to saute with white wine or to add that in there, just use there's just the wine in a box, like Franzia white wine in a box. And then you can keep it on your counter, or you can keep it in your pantry and stuff and keep it for quite a while. So I've gone one time, I think I bought a box and it probably took me, sad to say, but probably close to a year to, doing sauces and using it for some classes and things like that. So most of the time it's vegetable broth, stock, or water. So tonight we're doing two great recipes. So we're doing a crispy, or actually creamy sesame ramen. So ramen is one of those things that I think everybody loves, because you get those nice warm noodles and all your vegetables, and then you can make it like as spicy as you want, or you can make it as mellow as you want. But it's one of those things that the longer you keep it around and the longer you keep it in your fridge, the better it gets. And it just makes, just the sauces come together, the tahini, sriracha, all those kind of things just make it better and better. So when you make it, this makes kind of probably about 2 bowls and stuff for this recipe. But I have a feeling and stuff, once you try it, that you're going to like it, and you're going to end up making like big pots of it. So you'll have like all your stock ready to go, and then you can just do all your, your sauteed veggies or your steamed veggies and stuff, and then just get it ready for dinners or lunches and stuff a lot. So that's a really good way to do it. I actually added a few more vegetables because I had some vegetables in the fridge. And so I thought, what the heck? So I added carrots, I added purple cabbage, and I added green cabbage. And then we've got the broccoli and the mushrooms and stuff, which are part of the recipe. But think about this as just a starter recipe, and then add as like, especially with the summertime coming, think about adding like, zucchini and summer squash, and you've got, red peppers and all those great things. You could have this bowl, like a big bowl like this of a ramen, and just have all kinds of great things with it. So we're going to experiment with a couple more vegetables, just like I said, because I had them, and my cabbage, I had half of a head. And so I wanted to use it up. So this was the perfect way to do that. So we're going to do that. And then the next one we're going to do is roasted bok choy. So we've got a lot of bok choy. So I brought like 4 or 5 big heads. I'll just show you the cutting up one, and then we'll get that roasted in the oven. So nice crispy bok choy. And if you do the bok choy too, you could actually put that in your ramen. So if you have extra leftover for tomorrow, just chop up the bok choy, put that in there, and you're all ready to go. So good recipes that go together. So like I said, we do these classes about every 2 weeks. So we try to do it. And every once in a while we'll run into a problem with like a holiday or something, but otherwise we're doing these. And anytime that you hear me mention anything about a recipe that I talked about last time, or something we did, or if I mentioned like a cheese sauce or something like that, or you've got a recipe maybe that you're going like, it's my favorite food in the world, but I never get to have it anymore, just let me know. Just email me at Kelley. So Kelley at plantbasedkitchen.com and stuff. And I'm always happy to help. I always talk about, this is about community. It's about building community, building health, sharing recipes. We got tons of stuff that's out there on our YouTube site, all those kind of things, great recipes. And sorry, we have a little dog, that's I guess the perils of working at home. It's the good thing, because you get to see your animals all the time, but then, she tends to like to bark every once in a while. So hopefully she won't. Hopefully she'll just hang around, look for something to drop on the floor. So I'll go ahead and have Jerry introduce himself, and then we will get started, because it's all about the food. So. Yep.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Jerry Casados. If you don't know me, I'm a plant-based nutritionist. Been plant-based now, Kelley and I, 15 years this month.
I started at 10.
Yeah, I did for health reasons. In 2007, heart disease with cholesterol meds, 3 blood pressure meds, and I went and saw Dr. John McDougall in his 10-day live-in program back in Santa Rosa back then, and he got me off all my meds, lost 35 pounds, and everything is reversing. So we're good. So he's my mentor. I do teach his program, Start Solution program, in my practice. I have a private practice. I do free consultations. If you want the information's in the chat window, if you want to see it. If you have any questions about nutrition, I'll be glad to answer. And we're trying to do a low-fat, plant-based diet. So it's really 7 to 12% fat is really what we prescribe, and that's kind of what we do. But if any questions, we do have some computer issues. The chat window is down on Kelley's computer, so I'm gonna have to, if you have any questions, put them in the chat window. and I will relay them to Kelley to be sure to anything you want to ask is out there. So I'm just here to do the camera work and eat the food. So enjoy. Thank you.
Oh yeah, we're all about, ask questions, and I'll try to give us like many tips and tricks and things like that I can. But Jerry will just interrupt me in a little bit and be like, "Hey, got a question really quick." So not a problem. So we are going to start. We're going to do the creamy sesame ramen. So hopefully you've been able to print down the recipes. I know that some of you may be cooking along with me. If you are, just kind of let us know in the chat that, hey, I'm cooking with you. And I'd always love to hear, because I know that some people were cooking last time with us. So hopefully if you're joined us again, you'll kind of let us know what you thought of the recipes last time. But like I said, if you hear me talk about any recipes that we've done before, just let me know and I'll send them over. Because last time I sent just a couple of cheese sauces to some of the individuals. And then I think I did like a meatloaf. And then, I know it was a Chinese. So it was basically a Chinese salad. So it was all with all the cabbage and stuff. It's one of the best ones I've ever had out there. So we're always, like I said, happy to share anything. It's all about community. So Corey's cooking with me. Great. Well, welcome. And let me know if you have questions along the way. These are pretty good recipes as far as, to get them going and fast, like especially if you're looking for something to get on the table. And like I said, you could make the broth up in bulk and then just add the veggies as you go. So that's a real easy way, because you can steam veggies or actually just put them in the water and boil them for just a few minutes, and then you put them all in your bowl, and you can sit down in front of the TV, read a book, go outside, because it's supposed to be like 70 here in the next couple of days in Colorado. So we're looking forward to that. So nothing like sitting on the porch and getting a little sun, which looking forward to after all the snow we've had. So, all right, so we're going to get the broth going. So I'm just going to put this back here so that, because it's like nothing to do much with broth other than just warm it up. So I'm going to get that started, and I've got to watch because one of them is right here underneath my feet. Great. Welcome. All right, so let me get this going. It's all learning about the new stove and all those fun things. So I always have to make sure I'm doing the right burner. Put it on low because it doesn't really need that much. Okay, and then so if you're following along, the one thing that I just noticed on the recipe for the sesame ramen was baking the actual tofu. So it says, line your baking sheet with parchment paper. So when you grab your tofu, this is what you're going to use the baking sheet for, is your tofu. You don't have to bake the tofu. You can actually just use, just cut it up like this and then just heat and put it into the broth, just let it kind of simmer in the broth. And then you have a really soft tofu. I prefer, and Jerry prefers, more of kind of like the chewy tofu. So we're actually going to cut it up, and then I'm just gonna move some things over, cut it up and get it going. And then I'm going to put it in the oven. You could actually put like sauces on it if you want. So if you want to put like soy sauce, like a low sodium soy sauce, any of those things, you could do that. But I'm just it says actually, so to make it like strips, since my bowls are a little bit smaller, I'm going to make the strips a little bit smaller. So I don't want to have them so big that they're going to hang over the bowl. So I'll probably cut them down to more like bite-sized pieces. It's kind of like medium dices. Okay, so you got the 3. So the easiest way is it usually goes in 6s when you slice them up. You don't want to go much thinner than probably, so if I pull this up, so probably about a 1/2 inch. The reason why is that tofu will fall apart really easy. So if you don't mind a bunch of crumbles, that's okay. But if you don't want the crumbles and you want more of the pieces, then about a 1/2 inch thick is really good for holding that up. So then when you've got the long slices like this and you've got them stacked up, then you just do 3s again. That gives you a really nice size. And then depending on how big you want them, so you could do them, you could just cut this in half and have slices probably about 2 inches. Or you can do them just a little bit. So I'm going to probably do them. I'll probably do it in 4s across. So they're a little bit bigger chunks, but not small, real small. So, but just in a really good size. And if I grab my baking sheet, then you just take it basically, and all you're doing is just separating it out like this, and then just placing it on your baking sheet. So just little pieces. That's why I say like these pieces like this, but if you don't even like them that big, then cut them in half. But that's a really good size for if you're doing something like a ramen or a nice soup. Oops, I spill them all over me. And this one is, because I know you usually get that question, I always use firm tofu. So I just like the firmness of it. So for everything that I do, other than if I do something like a like a homemade mayo, like a plant-based mayo, then what I'll do is I'll do the silken tofu. But even then, the silken tofu, I still do it where it's extra firm. I like the firmness and how it holds up. Separate those out so they're all over the parchment. Super simple, easy. To drain tofu, because there's always a lot of questions about, do I need to buy a tofu press? All I did is you saw like when I was taking the tofu out, and I'll grab it really quick. Let me just get this on there. Just spread it out. And like I said, you could put a sauce on this, but since it's going in the ramen, I was like, I don't need a sauce. So I'm just going to make it where it's just nice and spongy, which is really good. Let's just put that in there. So the tofu, what I did last night is I just put a couple paper towels in a dish like this, put the drained it off, and then put the tofu in here. And then your paper towel soaks up all the moisture. And so if you just let it sit overnight like that, and I just covered it like with some plastic wrap, when you let it sit there like that, it soaks up pretty much all the moisture, and you don't have to go buy a tofu press. I do have one, but I use pretty much all of it like this. And then if you want it even more, you could actually put the tofu on, put the plastic wrap, and then put like a plate on it so it soak up even more of the moisture. Tofu, great question. So 350, I've got this oven a little bit higher just because I've got the bok choy that's going to go in here. But 350, usually about 15 minutes one side. Flip it, then you'll want to just kind of like shake it or flip it and stuff with like a spatula, and then bake it for about 10-15 minutes on the next side until you'll start seeing it getting a little bit brown around the sides. And then you also, if you press on it, because like right now it's real mushy, when you press on the tofu, and I'll show you when it comes out, it's actually spongy, which is really nice. And it's really good to put like in soups because it holds up. But it also, if you have extra, you can put it on salads or, all kinds of different things. And especially if you put like a sauce on it when you bake it, it's nothing better than something if you've got it and you just put it on a salad and you've got something that has like some soy sauce or gochujang or something like that on there. It's just really good. So about 10 minutes, check it, and 10 minutes and stuff afterwards and stuff after you flip it is about the right. So, but just check your oven because everybody's oven's different. So they all, they're all cooking a little bit different. So if it doesn't seem like if it's firm enough, then do like 15 and 15. So just kind of play with it, but usually 10 is usually pretty good. All right, so we're gonna get started. So we've got the stock going, we've got the tofu going. And then we're going to do, so we've got we've got water going over here. So I'm going to do the broccoli. So, so the broccoli is, just regular. I just did, florets, just small little pieces, just enough. And if it was a big floret, like this one's pretty small, but if it was a big floret, I just sliced it in half. So that way that, when you've got one of those like soup spoons or something, you're not, you don't have just a whole big chunk of tofu. I know that you probably have gone to restaurants like we have. And all of a sudden you're even 2 years ago, went to restaurants and you like start to get something and that's just big, huge mound of tofu. So not tofu, but broccoli. So these are smaller little pieces. So I'm just going to add them into just boiling water. You could actually steam them if you want, but we're just going to do boiling water. I'm also going to add the carrots. So we're going to just do a nice kind of simmer on them. And then we're going to let them get to where there's like the broccoli turns really bright green. And then we're going to pull it out because we don't want it to get mushy. And we want it to be crispy. So that's where I'm gonna add that. And then I'll probably put the steamer on top really quick. And then I'll put the cabbages on there so they don't get mushy because I don't want them in the water. So in goes the broccoli. Oh, not all the broccoli. Oop. There we go. And that's not gonna take very long, just a few minutes. In goes the carrots. And the carrots, I'll show you. I just did a really nice, so just, I just peeled the carrots on just the way that, you just peel and stuff. And then I just took the carrots and just cut everything on a diagonal because there's better pieces like this one. These are fun to eat. Really thin, but a nice diagonal. So they're really pretty for color and just like if you're like the dip things, diagonal carrots are the best. All right, so we're gonna get that going. Like I said, doesn't take very long. So I'm gonna probably pull the broccoli off first and then I'll pull the carrots after the carrots get a little bit soft. Then we're going to start with the mushrooms. So we're going to put the mushrooms on I've got an induction burner that's under here, which is electric, which are really nice to have. These, you see this on the news and things like that all the time, like Consumer Reports. And the reason why they do these is they talk about don't heat up your whole entire kitchen, just use an induction burner. And so you can pretty much sear, cook, everything like that on it, which are really nice. And you can get them Amazon, all the different places all over. So I will get this going. So medium high, we'll start that and that'll warm up. And then I just, these are regular just, am I trying to say? Portobello mushrooms. And these are the baby ones, so baby bellas. Jerry, I just sent Jerry to the store and he buys whatever he sees and whatever he likes. So this is just a small container. So one of those little, 6 to 8 ounces. And then I just sliced them up. If you want, if you don't want slices, you could do them in quarters, whatever you decide that you like. So I like them more in the slices. So that's what I did. And these are ready to go. So we'll just add these in. Don't add a lot of vegetable broth when you're cooking mushrooms because mushrooms are going to let off a lot of moisture too. Otherwise, you end up draining a lot. And what you could do too, just as a tip, you could actually, once you saute this up, and if you have a little bit of extra of the liquid, one of the things that you could do is take the liquid and put it into your ramen because it's going to give you that nice mushroom flavor. So no waste. That's what we always like, no waste. While that's cooking, I'm going to grab the bowl. Broccoli's just about ready. See the bright green? Isn't that beautiful? I don't know if you can't see it over there. Look at that bright green. Isn't that beautiful? Yum. That's like perfect broccoli. And you could throw it in an ice bath if you wanted to, but I didn't want to put it in an ice bath yet because then I want to turn around and put it into a nice warm ramen. So I didn't want to have to worry about heating it up. So this is going to be just fine since it's only been in the water a couple minutes. Just get it all out here and then we'll let the carrots do their thing. One more piece. So beautiful broccoli, steaming, looks yummy. Little bit of pepper, a little bit of soy sauce. That would be just fine with a fork. Love that. All right, so let's get just a little stir. All right, so we're gonna get the bok choy ready. So it's not gonna take very long in the oven, but I wanted to marinate a little bit, which is really nice. And bok choy has so many different parts of within it, and so it's nice to get all that sauce in there. So we're gonna add the sauce in there. So we're gonna do. Let me get the ginger. So I'm going to show you how we do ginger. I should have pulled it out earlier. Ginger. This is a lot of ginger. So I know the last time I probably showed it, I had one little piece. Well, they had a big sale at Sprouts here, which is one of the natural grocers. And it was all organic ginger. So I was like, I'll turn it this way. So I was like, okay, there's a bunch of ginger. The cool thing about this is if you buy this much ginger, and I think it was like $4.99 for all of this, which was a great deal, especially organic. And so what I do is I put it in just a bag like this, Ziploc bag, put it in the freezer, and then I just leave it in the freezer and then I pull it out when I need it. So let me grab my microplane. Or my zester, whatever you have. And then I'll grab just a piece of ginger like this. Let me just grab one like this, put that to the side. And then what you're going to do is, when a lot of times and stuff, they'll say with ginger, take your spoon, scrape off all the peeling and everything like that. You don't have to do it, not when you freeze it. And freezing it keeps it, like I can keep this bag for probably a good year and it's still going to be like fresh. So it's every time you grate it up and stuff, it's going to smell just like fresh ginger and taste just like fresh ginger. So I got this. So I just start. And we're going to do 2 tablespoons. And you can see that it goes pretty quick. It's already starting to grate into the piece. Once in a blue moon, you will get some of the skin that you'll see in the bowl. But if it does and stuff, just pull it out. But this is the nice thing about doing this. It just grates everything up and you don't have to worry about pulling the skin off and getting the spoon out and doing all those type of things. You just go to town with your ginger. And this would actually be if you've got a good piece of ginger. You could actually, one of the things too, is you could put some of the ginger in the ramen because, ginger in ramen is really good too. So let's keep doing this a little bit. And the nice thing too, is it really grates really well. So you can see really quickly, I've got your 2 tablespoons. And there was like one little piece of the skin gone. Then I put it back into the bag. Ziploc it up, and then I'll put it back in the freezer, but I'll put it back in the freezer in just a little bit. And then it keeps, you've got this beautiful fresh ginger all the time. You never have to worry about buying a piece of ginger. And then when you go back into your fridge, because you remember it, and it's this big, had that happen many times. So this is the perfect way to do that. That looks good. Carrots are looking good. All right. And then we've got 5 cloves of garlic. So I have everything over here. So let me just grab it so we have it in front of us. It's a new kitchen, so we're getting used to laying how everything lays out. My other kitchen stuff, when we did it for 2 years, easy, knew exactly what it does. So just regular old garlic, just minced up. Perfect. Then we've got a 1/4 cup of vegetable broth, so a little bit more vegetable broth. I'm gonna eyeball it. And a little bit more there. All right, and then we've got toasted sesame seeds. So I'm just going to use the black sesame seeds, which I like because they're so pretty, especially on something that's like a light green or like tofu or anything like that. The black sesame seeds, they're beautiful. So we looked at it, so we got 3 tablespoons. You could also do the black and just the regular. So just I always say like the white sesame seeds, that's really pretty when you've got all the different colors all mixed in. But as you can see, the black just adds such a pretty color. I like it when it kind of clings onto things. It's beautiful. All right, and then we've got the 2 tablespoons of low sodium soy sauce. Whoops, make sure I get the right ones. And then we've got chili flakes. So red pepper chili flakes, there's all kinds of ones. There's smoked ones, there's different flavors. Just this depends on how much spice you like. So I said right for his 1/4 teaspoon. So what I always talk about in my classes is even with my measurements, so like all the different spices that I'm adding, one of the things that I always recommend is go low. So if I say a 1/4 teaspoon, go with like 1/8 of a teaspoon or just a teeny little pinch, and then taste it and see if you like it. And then if it's not hot enough, then add some more. So you can always add more spices in. You can't take them out. So like even if I say 3 tablespoons toasted sesame seed, start with 1. And then mark on your recipes and say, oop, I really like 3 or I like 5, that type of thing. So I'm just going to add kind of like 2 pinches. Jerry and I like the red pepper flakes. We eat pretty much red pepper flakes on everything. So we're good with it. And then we've got the lemon and stuff I'm going to add towards the end. So that's ready to go there. So just do a quick little mix. Do a little taste. And this sauce, so depending on what you're looking for. So bok choy, once you get it you get it all like cooked up and roasted up, it turns more sweet. So this is definitely not a sweet sauce. So when you're tasting it, it definitely has more of the kind of like the umami. So like the more like the salty, because you've got a little bit of the soy sauce, you got the red pepper flakes and all those type of things. And then you're going to add a little bit of acid at the end, which is your lemon, which is really good. Okay, so that one's ready to go. Beautiful sauce. It's just has some nice color to it. The black sesame seeds always look, they're beautiful. And then you've got the ginger, which is absolutely wonderful. So that's all ready to go. Let me just check my carrots really quick before, I don't want them to boil to yuck. Perfect. And then when you're doing your carrots on a diagonal like that and you're cutting them really thin, it doesn't take very long to steam them up. They're like floating all over the pan, like running away, not wanting to be caught. Couple more, and then we'll be going on the next one. It's like trying to catch a fish in an aquarium. They're like floating all over the place, hard to catch. There we go. There we go. Got them. So pretty plate, orange and green already. Yum. All right, let's turn this down. It's nice and hot. That's actually in the back, that big pan. That's the new wok we just purchased. So we're watching Jerry's favorite show in the whole entire world, QVC, and Jeffrey Zakarian, a big known chef and stuff, has a wok that is, and it's very heavy and stuff. I pick it up, but it is cast iron, and it actually cooks. We just tried it last week for the first time, and it cooks like really, really fast. And I can grab. Let me grab because I have a feeling it's probably hot. Ooh, it's heavy. So bottom, any color, you've got all kinds of different colors, and then cast iron on the inside. But it cooks really fast. So for, if you're doing stir fries or you can doing, just anything you want to saute up, that you can use this, which is really nice. So that's what that big pan is back in the back. It's so heavy, I just left it on the back burner. It's heavy. Tofu's looking good. We'll keep that going. Mushrooms. Cook them up just a little bit more. All right, bok choy. Beautiful bok choy. It's the perfect time of the year for bok choy. You can actually get it all year round, but the baby is about this time and stuff really comes out really, really well. So I'll show you how to, so when you get a bok choy like this, you want to rinse it really well. It's almost like when you do leeks, they carry so much dirt, and all these different parts and pieces of a bok choy carries dirt. So watch it, rinse it as much as you can. And then when you're getting ready to plate it up, you'll see that I have slices already here. But all I do is I just cut off the end like that. And every once in a while, you'll notice too that there's a little bit of dirt still in there. So if you see the dirt when you separate it, just grab some water and just rinse it off again. Because you will find when you cut through it, you will find different parts or compartments and stuff that will have just a little bit of dirt. The dirt never hurt you. So there's that. And then once you've got this together, so you got this nice piece like this, you're going to slice diagonally. So just grab like that, slice down, get your big knife, slice down the middle. And then you've got these really nice parts like that of the bok choy. And so we're going to put this in the sauce here, but then we're going to actually spoon around and make sure that all these little compartments that are in the bok choy are getting covered up with a great sauce. And like I said, you got some of this left over tomorrow, ramen. So put these pieces in. I'm going to grab a big spoon. And I think I'm going to switch bowls, and I'm going to put this here. You sure can. If you can't find the baby, because sometimes that's hard to find in the stores. We're lucky for some reason the King Supers that we have actually does the baby bok choy a lot. But if not and stuff, then just cut it into smaller pieces. So maybe like chunks like that. So it's a little bit easier to eat. Doesn't say so the regular bok choy, it doesn't matter. Go ahead and just use it. Sorry, I will change the recipe and make sure it says the baby. But you can use just the regular bok choy. Just, if you got it, the big, because it's about this big. So just slice it down the middle, and then you could slice it in half, and then you've got the pieces, which will work just as fine. So you've got everything in here. You've got all the little seeds. So you're just going to want to mix it up. Kind of flip it around a little bit, make sure it gets covered. I did a lot of bok choy. Jerry likes bok choy, so made sure. So I'll just let it sit there, just marinate. But you can see already like the seeds and the garlic and thing are all over it. So you've got all the different seeds and garlic, which is really pretty. So I'll just let that sit there. Wash my hands. Nice. A kitty's cooking. Nice. Okay, let me check. All right, so so the mushrooms are ready. So they're all nice and soft. You can see because they're the baby bellas. They get really dark other than the button mushrooms, but these are all ready to go. Like I said, if you end up having a bunch of liquid left over, then just get ready to add it into the vegetable broth. and use it that way. Then you get those really nice flavors. So that's ready to go. So let's set that there. All right, so now we need the sauce. We'll grab another whisk. Need the sauce getting ready for the ramen. So if you're following along, we've got tahini. So this one's a really good. So this one's joida, which is a sesame tahini, but you can get different types of tahini all over the place. So we're going to do 3 tablespoons. And the nice thing about this one, sometimes when you get tahini, it gets really, really thick on the bottom and it just becomes like you can't even chip it away. This one stays really creamy, which is really nice. There's 1, 2, 3. And I can show this if you want to show it a little closer. Like I said, this one's a good one because it's really creamy. Joyva, Joyva sesame tahini. I know you can buy it like on Amazon because Amazon ships everywhere, but I've seen it in pretty much every store that you can see. Yeah, Sprouts is if you're in Colorado, Sprouts is well known and stuff, but it's a really good, it's a natural grocery type of store, but it's really good. It's nice. And like I said, when you can go like this and stuff, it's just creamy and it doesn't get all hard in the bottom and you end up losing half of the tahini. So that's what's nice about that one. All right, so we got this in there. And then, so we've got the low sodium soy sauce. You could use tamari also, whatever you have in the cabinets. And then we've got tablespoon of sriracha. If you don't want hot, don't do sriracha. You could also use, if you wanted to, sambal leek. So that's like a chili paste, which is really good. It's probably one of my favorites more so than sriracha. So a lot of times when it's something, they say something that you want the heat, I'll put a sambal leek in there as I just lost the spoon. Get a new spoon. I don't need that. All right, and then we've got rice vinegar. Give a little bit of the acid. Then grab your whisk and just mix it up. And you'll see here too, I have green onions. Those I'm going to add to the topping, so it makes the ramen really pretty. And I might put a few on the bok choy too. Nothing better than scallions and stuff on things because it just makes it look pretty. So I'll taste this here in a second and tell you what it tastes like, just if I mix it up. It is kind of like nutty. So the flavors are nutty a little bit. You can definitely take like the rice vinegar, the acid, and a little bit of the acid that's in the sriracha. And then it's got a little bit of heat. So it's not bad heat. So it's not like you're tasting it and you like start sweating or anything. It's just more of a kind of a muted, almost kind of nutty type of a heat. So nice sauce. This is what's going to go in the bottom of the ramen with the vegetable broth to give that really good ramen flavor. So don't have to worry about fish flakes or any of those other things and stuff that they usually do in ramen. So put that there because that'll mix up. All right, so we can get the ramen going. So Jerry found this one. He's a good shopper. We'll give him lots of credit for shopping. He likes to do the grocery shopping and he does it during the day when it's not so busy, which is really nice. So he found this one's Ocean's Halo and it's organic ramen noodles. And it's, I guess they have all kinds of like different broths. So you can get like a faux broth, miso broth too that you can do. But it's really nice because it's, so I'll put that there. Ocean Halo ramen noodles. And it's nice about this and that they're organic too. You can also, when it comes open like this, they come in these cute little packets. It's almost like a burger packet, it looks like. But so you got these, and so you can say, well, if I don't want to use, if I'm just doing one for myself, then you can use one of the packets, or you can use 2 or 3 of the packets. It's really nice because it keeps it fresh in just this cute little box. And the box is really small too. It's no bigger than really one of your vegetable broth boxes. So I can just put that back in there like that, and it's all ready to go. Boom. Which is nice. I'm gonna actually do 3. So we're gonna get the ramen. So you can use the exact same water that you were using for your vegetables because why not? It's only gonna you've got nice flavor that you're gonna do there. So these aren't gonna cut open easy. So let me just grab my scissors. And I'll check my tofu here. Nothing simpler than ramen. And good and filling. I just check. Okay, I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Heating pad, hot pads. Because I'm gonna want to turn it. So there you go. So it's getting like a nice, kind of a nice browning to it, which is really nice. And that's about where you want it to be, where it looks. And then that way you can go ahead and flip it. So I am just going to grab a spatula and just do just a rough flip. And you can see like right now already, let's grab a piece. So see where it's already starting to get a really nice like chewiness texture to it, which is really nice. So it's coming together really quickly. Hold on one second. What was that? I'm sorry? Yes, each one of these packs. Yeah, so the box, so great question. So the box says, yeah, four 2.1 ounce packets. So, and ready in 3 minutes. Anything for dinner that's ready quick is good. Okay, so on the recipe, so you always want to follow the boxes. So you bring the water to boil, which we've got, and then we're going to add the packets and stuff to the boiled water. So even if you don't find this brand, it's the same, pretty much the same thing with any type of ramen noodles. You know, you see the packs that are in the store all the time. You can throw away the little seasoning packet and then just do the ramen noodles. And then let's set 3 or 4 minutes until tender. So we're going to just kind of boil them up a little bit, and then we're going to pull them out. And I'm going to make sure I dump the whole pack because there's little pieces in the bottom. There's one, number 2, and number 3. All right, got the mushrooms. Then now we're going to add, so since I've got, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the cabbage on top while that's boiling. That way I can get the cabbage going. So it should take about the same amount of time. So I'll just add a steamer on top. And then green cabbage, all I did was just take the head of the cabbage and just, sliced it really, really thin. Same thing with the red. So it just has nice little pieces. I have to watch when I cut up cabbage. Jerry's notorious for grabbing big handfuls of cabbage. So I'll just watch that for about a minute or 2, and then we'll check it for the cabbage. All right, so red pepper flakes. Don't need much more of that. We should be pretty good. The broth is going. All right, now we're going to get the bok choy. So another pan, baking sheet. So what I'm going to do, so I got parchment paper. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it side up, so that the inside up, just like that. Or you can flip them the other way. I don't think I'll flip them over. They'll actually stay a little bit easier flipped over. So I'm just going to line them up. And you're going to have little pieces. So just kind of put those around when they fall off. That one has a lot of the seeds. So there we go. Grab that piece. Shake a little bit of the seeds and the garlic off, so some of the pieces got a little bit more, and we'll just add it. We'll just pour it on top. So just line it all up so it just looks all pretty. So we've got little pieces all over, so we'll just add those around. It smells so good. The ginger and everything, nothing better than fresh ginger. Okay, so then you have all this extra sauce that kind of goes to the bottom. So just kind of just drizzle it around. And you have seeds everywhere. So show that. So that's all ready to go in the oven. So we're going to get the oven at 425. So we're going to put it in there for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to flip it. Oops. Perfect. I'm going to flip it. And then we're going to cook it for about another 5 minutes, and then it'll be nice and crispy and ready to go. All right, let's check just with that, guess what's ready? Cabbage. We like chef hats, all good. All right, so within a minute or two, you've got the cabbage, the red and the green all ready to go. You've got your broccoli, you've got your carrots. And then let's check the ramen noodles. So when you're putting them in there, one of the things too is once they get a little bit more of the water and the heat to them, then you're going to want to make sure that you kind of break them up a little bit, because otherwise they stay in the little round packs that they come in, or the square packs, depending on what you're looking for. And then my water, because of the cabbage, is like purple, but it's not turning the noodles purple. So we're going to try one real quick. Just check for doneness. Probably be easier with a fork, but that's okay. Almost, like about another half minute. All right, so there is, so we'll move the mushrooms over too. They're ready to go. So you've got like this smorgasbord. So this would actually be, if you do ramen, it's actually a really fun, so if we start, doing parties and things like that again, it's really fun to do parties because you have the broth and you can have it in a great big bowl, warming on like a induction burner or something like that, because you can see this is not hot. And then you could have like all these vegetables lined up on, warm vegetables, and people could just add all kinds of different flavors. And, if they want to add peanuts or just anything like that, you can add all those kind of things. And it's fun parties. All right, so that is definitely done. Okay, so we are going to, so let me go ahead and drain and rinse these. That back and grab these. All right, let me do 1 second. Too many things in the sink. Grab a couple things out, and then we will. All right, so we got a strainer. Grab this. I'll show you my water, because you can see with the red cabbage, I don't know if you can see it, kind of the blue purple water because of the cabbage, but doesn't hurt the noodles at all. Nice and warm. It's like a bath. Just do a little bit of water. That's it. Okay, let that drain for just a minute. Right. So to make it while the bok choy is cooking, so remind me, don't let me forget about the bok choy because I don't want it to burn. Tofu still in there. I'm going to pull the tofu out now. Perfect tofu. You can smell the ginger on the bok choy. It smells so good. So there is the tofu. So I'll notice like here's a really good piece. So it's got the nice kind of a crust on it that's been cooking. And then it's really a nice chew. So when you put it into a soup, it's actually just it'll soak up the liquid, some of the liquid, but it doesn't get really soft. So like I said, I prefer the baked, but you can do just the regular raw tofu if you want to. Everything is just as good. So I'll put that tofu there, let that cool off. Okay, so to do the ramen, so what we're gonna do is, you're following along, we're gonna put the tahini into the bottom. So again, it's divided up. I'll put enough on the bottom and then we'll taste it, see what we think. So right now, this is probably about 3 teaspoons. I'll do 3 each. And let's do 4. And it'll give me a little bit of extra left over too. So just a nice, as you can see the color of this, because it has the sriracha and stuff, it's just a nice, like a really nutty brown color, which is really pretty, kind of a rust color. Okay, so then we have the vegetable broth and stuff that's been cooking. This one is this one, because I know usually a lot of people ask about the veg broth. This is one I got at Costco, and it's actually an organic vegetable broth. And the cool thing about it is if you do find it at a Costco or someplace like that, they're very inexpensive. So it's a lot cheaper to buy them at Costco. Like I usually, if I see it at Costco, I'll buy like 3 or 4 cases of them. And there's usually like 10 or 12 per case. And then I'll just keep them in the basement or in the pantry and stuff because like the sodium and everything like that is really low. So it's like 140 milligrams of sodium versus some of the higher sodiums that there. So it's always kind of fun to try that one out. Okay, so we've got the mixture in here. Then we're going to do the stock. So we're going to ladle that in. Let me check the bok choy. It is a sizzling away. Okay, we'll do like 1 ladle here, 1 ladle here. Do what? I'm sorry. So this is the actual the sauce that's going around it. Yep. So it's the ramen. I'll be putting that in there. Okay, so there's 3. I think I'm going to stop with 3 right now, just because I want to make sure that I have enough space for everything else I want to put in there. So then we have the ramen noodles. And you don't have to do them with your hand, and they are still hot, so I'm going to grab a fork. I love to be able to, when you get things that you can build like this, so you put things together, I love it. It's so much fun. Just kind of put those in there. And they may be a little sticky, like when as you can see now, they're a little sticky. You know, you can just add a little bit more like warm water and stuff just to keep them if it's going to be a little bit before you actually use them. But ramen are the best that when you're like right after you cook them, you use them. But once you put them into the hot broth, they automatically start separating again, which is really nice. And if you're not noodles, you're not a noodle fan, you could do this same ramen with rice. You could do that. And if you don't have any ramen noodles, you could use spaghetti, linguine, all those fun things. Add a little bit more, just trying to fill it up, but also making sure that when it hits the broth and stuff that's around it, that it separates. Perfect. All right, we'll put this over here. Sticky hands. And towel. All right, so this is where you get the fun part. So you get to make, and actually, before I start making it, I'm going to do the bok choy. So you'll notice like your bok choy, see the leaves and stuff, they're already starting to brown up. So you always just want to check it really quick. And I'm just going to flip them. You can tell that I've been dealing with a lot of hot things because a lot of times and stuff I can just do it with my fingers. And then it gets kind of hot, a little bit hot, and then I turn around and I'll grab the spatulas. Okay. Nice and pretty. Goes in for a few minutes while we're on the ramen, and then we are good. This is beautiful even without any vegetables in it. Look at the color. Nice brown, wonderful. Okay, so then I'll put this down here so it's easier to see. Then you're going to start grabbing vegetables. So this is up to you how you want to plate it, how you want to put it together. Purple cabbage, nothing prettier. Especially if you don't cook it too long, it doesn't lose its color. We'll just start with a little bit here and there, and we'll just kind of add some, and then we'll add the green on the other side. guarantee you, after we turn the cameras off, Jerry will come over here and he'll be like a big handful of the cabbage and put it inside more of the ramen. It's one of his favorite things. Then we've got broccoli. So kind of, think about color. So this is like a color palette for you. And it's, it's all about, I always say like Nirvana, when you open up your refrigerator and you have all these beautiful things made and salad bowls and all that, or you look down here, it's eye candy. So you're like, ooh, that looks so good. So you get broccoli. And what I'll do is when I'm putting it together, and I would say I don't do this as fancy when Jerry and I are just eating, but for this and stuff, I actually going to bring it where I can have the actual florets up to the top. So just because you can see them. And you can kind of push them down just a little bit so they soak in there. And you've got these beautiful orange carrots. And kind of keep them both the I like the carrots. Yum. All right, tofu. Don't forget the tofu. So kind of put that around where the broccoli's at. More. Some of my broccoli is sinking, so I'm going to add just a little bit more. Okay, and then grab my fork. Get it where you can actually see the ramen noodles, so you guys can see the pictures. And this, this is one you could do zucchini, you could do summer squash, you can do eggplant, you could do, there's like red peppers and all those type of things. Any of those vegetables would be good in this. You could do, like if you got a bunch of sweet potatoes, cut up sweet potatoes. Butternut squash. All right, then I've got the black sesame seeds. Oh, nobody mentioned the mushrooms. I'm going to put those on this side. The more vegetables, the better. All right, move a little bit of the green on top. And let me grab the bok choy out. That smells so good. Okay, so let me show you what this looks like. I'm gonna grab just so that you can see because sometimes the noodles will get buried. I don't want to have that happen. There we go. Now that is a big bowl of ramen. And then what you could do if you wanted to, if you had a little bit more of this sauce, you could do just a little drizzle. And I'll show you. Get that out of the way. So there is my big bowl of absolutely yummy ramen. Doesn't that look good? And I'll tell you just really quick, because we put all the sauces together. So I'll do this really quick. And that's really good. So you've got, the spiciness of the sauce. So you've got kind of the nutty spicy that we were talking about, and a little bit of the sriracha. By mixing that with the, and kind of adding a little bit to the vegetable broth, gives you just that really, it's like almost like a nutty, but a little bit spicy. But like I said, if you don't like spice, don't put the sriracha in. Spicy flavor, but it's really hearty, which is really nice. So these are the ramen bowls. And then we have these fun little things. So we've got, of course, you've got chopsticks. I have these little spoons that are always fun that you see in all the restaurants that you get, like with the egg drop soup and all that. So, you can actually, put a little spoon there to use with it to make it even pretty. I got those at like a Salvation Army for $1 for all those, which was a great deal. Tofu's right there. So tofu is right here. It's hard to eat because it almost blends in with the noodles, but right there. But if you wanted to make it stand out even more, you could just, like I said, just add some soy sauce, just let it like simmer in some soy sauce and then put it in the oven and bake it. And then it'll turn that really nice dark color, but the tofu's in there. All right, so let me grab another last dish. We have a pretty dish. Let me grab the, like I said, new kitchen, just getting used to it, trying to figure out where everything's at and how everything all kind of fits out for cooking classes and all that. So as we go along, we will definitely figure it out. Let me grab. Love anything that's like these little tongs and stuff that have the locking mechanism that fit in your drawer. Love these things. I get rid of all my other tongs and stuff until I had the, and when I replaced it with these. Okay, so bok choy. So just making it, just make it as pretty as you want to make it. Just kind of layer it out. If you got a really big piece, you can throw that on the other side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the big pieces on the outside, and then the pieces that fell off of the big pieces right in the middle. So we'll do some like pretty little, a little bit of a swirls. As you can see, it was like what, 8 minutes, and then it was all ready to go. So just little swirls with your bok choy. Just kind of grab them, grab the ends. Just do a little, kind of like you're working with spaghetti or something, just do a little twirl. That way they fit right in the middle for you. How are we on time? We're right on time. All right, let me just twirl these up real quick. It'll take me just a second. Like I said, tomorrow, you got more of the bok choy left over, throw it in the ramen. And then if you have any of the extra sauce that's still on the baking sheet, you could drizzle it on here too. All right, washed hands, and then we'll show you. And guess what time it is? Dinner, yay. All right, so a little bit of green onions. All right. And then black sesame seeds. And there you go for the roasted bok choy. So you've got this absolutely beautiful ramen that is going to be like, I mean, how much better can it be with that in your stomach? And then the roasted bok choy, which Jerry will probably chop up and put it in the ramen also. So I hope you guys enjoyed. So Brandon, tell me how the recipe's going. Are y'all done?
Oh, I was muted. Yeah, I'm all done. It's awesome.
Wonderful. Thank you for making it with us. It's very, very appreciative.
Yeah, man, this is a lot of fun. Thanks for hosting.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, if you try anything else, like you actually do some different things to the recipe or you add some different flavors and stuff, email me. I'd love to be able to share it with others because I think everybody is always looking for ways to change up recipes and things. So
I love sugar snap peas.
Oh, that would be really good. You're exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Love it. Onions, sugar snap peas, all that would be absolutely fabulous in it. So thank you for joining us. Thank you, everybody. And we will see you next time. So love you guys and talk to you soon. It's dinner time.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye. Y'all have a good weekend.
You too. Bye-bye. Hopefully it's nice and enjoy it.
Yeah. We have Veg Fest this weekend.
We're supposed to be like 70s this weekend, so that's going to be nice.
Sunday's our Veg Fest.
Oh, nice.
Finally, our first one here in Savannah.
Nice. I don't know if they're going to do one here or not. I haven't heard anything about it. All right. Well, love you guys. Bye, Mona.